guys, so if you guys have been keeping up, I've been launching a new company called Informatic. It's an AI setter. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you the exact story sequence I planned out for the next 7 days, how it's going to warm my audience up and how it's going to convert a ton of people. So the goal of this story sequence is to get people up to speed with what I built, okay? And the reason why we're doing it over a period of time is to really get it in their memory, okay? The repetition will put in their memory. Now, why do we want it in people's memories? Having it in people's memories is important because it adds like importance to it, literally. So if I was to post just one sequence of stories today announcing this new company and this and that, firstly, imagine how much information I need. Secondly, imagine how much, good copywriting I need to have people who had no idea about this and turn them into interested leads. And aside from that, they've never even seen it before. Like it kind of removes credibility as well, because it's like, what, you've just been working on a new company and haven't said a word about it, and then today it's live. So I want to spend the next 7 days getting people up to speed with it. So day 0 was me posting a poll saying, what's your biggest problem with setters? And it was slow to reply, off brand, disorganized, and kind of dumb. And each one had a 30%, or like actually it was 25% choice. So that means that everyone was kind of struggling with the same exact problem. So I reposted the results and said literally dead even across all 4 options. Tells you everything you need to know. Everyone's dealing with. And so for this day, it's kind of like I was talking about the problem. I didn't even introduce the solution yet. I was just talking about how people were slow to reply. Everyone's dealing with this. And then this kind of part here, which I'm going to call a confirmation bias. Now, the reason I did this is because in marketing, you never want people to think something is their fault. You want to make the blame on someone else. And so what I did here was I blamed something else. I blamed the setters, and I blamed that there was no solution and that you're forced to accept it. It's not your fault. You're not dumb. You're not stupid. That's the only solution. We're all dealing with it. It's relatable and we're going to fix it. But I'm kind of foreshadowing that right there. And then I'm saying, look, after speaking to thousands of info owners, authority, I can say that 99% of their problems have nothing to do with volume. And here, once again, this whole story sequence, I'm trying to make people problem aware. I'm trying to make them aware that setting is their bottleneck. Their bottleneck is the DMs. That was all I did. This was yesterday, okay? All I did yesterday was make people aware of the problems. Now today, we're starting to kind of bring the solution into the picture. So I'm going to build curiosity. I'm going to hint at a solution incoming. So over the past 2 months, I've been quietly building a tool that will completely change the info space. I'm going to have like a blurred like UI mockup just to create some, curiosity and mystery, and also make it more tangible, because in the info space, there's so much fluff, right? There's so many like, really bad software companies. There's so much lies, deception, like fake softwares where it's really just white labels. So I really want people to think that this is like the one. This is like, the most important. This is what's being built. This is the most luxurious, everything like that. And so here I'm starting to introduce it, and I'm saying, look, I'm launching to my followers next week to keep everyone excited. Okay, once again, I'm kind of just teasing at the solution here. Day 3 is where I'm going to be talking about how the setting industry is broken. So once again, I'm not putting the blame on them. I'm saying most people have been lied to. They've been told to pay, and then here's some loss aversion. So once again, in my content, I'm trying to teach you guys like the psychological principles behind these things. And so one of these principles that I'm using here is confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is essentially the thing where it's like people don't think they're bad at anything, right? I remember the government here ran like a quiz for drivers, and then they ran a quiz for experienced drivers. And the one for experienced drivers had more submissions because everyone thinks that they're an experienced driver. No one thinks they're just like a normal driver. Even though they are probably bad, people think they're good at it. So that's the confirmation bias, and you can see I'm never putting fault on anyone. I'm never putting blame on anyone. The reason why this is good is because we can put the blame on a specific problem that's not their fault, and then give them a solution that they can actually use to fix it, because that means that there's this problem. It's not their fault, but they're powerless to fix it. But it's still not their fault, and there's just one solution to fix it. Bang. Like, that's so perfect. And then the other thing I'm doing right here is something called loss aversion, where people don't like losing things. They actually are more afraid of losing something than of winning something. So I'm saying that they're losing 5% of their business to a setter. Instead of just paying 5% of their business and like having like this whole commission model, it's literally you're losing 5% of your business to someone who takes hours to reply, needs sleep, needs food, sounds like a setter, is a borderline liability. And then the second story is we need a new model. So once again, I'm kind of teasing at this solution, one that's instant, consistent, and controlled by you. And that's exactly what I've been building, and it goes live next week. Bang, at Informatic Pro. Day 4, this is kind of like behind the scenes, where the goal is to introduce the product without pitching it. So you can see here, this is the first AI setter that beats a world-class setter. I'm going to have like a Loom video, kind of like this, where I'm just breaking down the conversations. And I'm basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen record the first 60 seconds of that, and then I'm going to post a story with that screen recording, and then a button below that saying watch the whole video. From here, I'm going to then have, you've seen the vision. Now, here's what happened when we tested it on some of our DFY partners. So now I'm getting to the case studies, right? Because the biggest skepticism people have for this is like, oh, it's not going to sound like me. I don't believe AI will work. So I'm just throwing that out of the park by showing instead of telling, because you can only tell so much. You can only say, yeah, my AI setter sounds like people, it's good, XYZ. You can only do that so much, right? There's a level where that doesn't work. And what you have to do instead is actually show that it's the best. Then for slide 3, we have the proof collage and commentary. So I'm just gonna have a ton of different, results of clients using this, just a ton of screenshots and, little commentaries, right? So 10 calls booked today, $13 per call, 174% increase. This is kind of my messaging for this, right? And my messaging is it's quick, works 24/7, 2-minute reply time, sounds exactly like you. And then a poll, right? Now, the reason why polls are good for this is because we can kind of like categorize leads and then reach out to qualified ones. So I'm curious, if an AI setter that was actually good existed, that replied in 2 minutes flat, worked 24/7, sounded exactly like you, would you actually use it? Yes, obviously, and then no, which kind of sounds stupid to answer. And then, right, obviously everyone's going to say yes, and then the appointment setter can actually reach out to all the people saying yes and set them. Okay, from there, day 6, why I built this. I'm 16, make 80K a month, and I spent $25,000 fixing this one part of the funnel, and I'm going to circle the setting part. This is authority, and then this is like kind of a value add that builds curiosity, because it's like, oh, we spent this much money fixing the problem, I need to listen to it. Obviously, no setter will ever care about your business like you do. That means that the second you rely on one, you're capped by these things. Once again, really going into the loss aversion here, because people hate to lose things. And people love putting the blame on something, even if it's their fault. They love to put the blame on something or someone else. And so what we're doing here is we're blaming the appointment setter who has all of these problems, instead of just like, they probably have a really bad setter. So I made a decision. We'd build one that never sleeps, never misses leads, never asks for a rev share. This part, I need to kind of reword that. A setter that runs 24/7 actually works. And then the story 4 is just going to be me making a video talking about how crazy the solution is, how it replies in 2 minutes, how there's a custom CRM, how it follows up with every lead, how it automatically does tracking. There's a dashboard where you can view all your numbers, like just all the kind of unique benefits and features. And then tomorrow you get to try it for free, because the end goal of this funnel is giving people, like, allowing people to actually test it. And then when it tests it, if you want to see my other video where I made the exact setting flow for this, the setting flow is insane. It's like the best I've ever made. You can check that out and feel free to like copy it yourself. Day 7, it's live. So right here, we're basically going to convert people with urgency and exclusivity. So I'm going to have an animation which says Informatic, and then it's live. And then the second story is going to be a screen recording of conversations that are like perfect, and it's going to say this is what settings should feel like, handling hundreds of conversations, replies in 2 minutes, never takes a day off. Then third story is going to be like, want to see how it works? You can literally talk to mine right now, just reply test and try not to get piffed, lol. And then the fifth story is going to be me talking about how it's live plus the USPs, which is just going to be another video. And then the sixth story is kind of just like a bonus where it's like early access is now open, purely pay per performance. This is the offer. It's so good, we'll take on all the risk, reply test to claim. And then once again, when they reply test, it's going to start setting them. This is the dashboard I mentioned earlier that I'm going to show. And this is the sequence that we're going to use, and it's going to do really well, okay? Now, the reason it's going to do well is it basically gets people up to speed. You can see, first we address the problems, then we tease the solution, then we start talking about the product as we kind of go down here, and now we start making it really known that like, okay, he's been building this company, the unique selling points are good, everything's on point. Okay, I would actually kind of be interested in this if it like did work and it did sound like me. Oh, look, it sounds pretty good actually. Oh, I actually get to try it. This is crazy. So this is exactly how we're running it. It's going to do really well. Keep your eyes peeled. Follow me on Instagram if you're not, and just watch like how I do it, how it unfolds, because it's going to be really cool. And yeah, subscribe to me here on YouTube for daily videos like these, where I'm breaking down how I'm making $80,000 a month at 16, exactly like how we're doing it and not just like what we're doing. So as you can see here, I literally pulled up my folder right here, or my Google document with the stories I'm going to be posting. This is what we're using internally, okay? And if you want to be savvy about it, you can copy the URL just here and like pull it up yourself, make a copy of it, do whatever you want to do. I'm not gatekeeping here. So subscribe to me for daily videos. We just hit 500 subscribers, which is excellent. One of the videos about this AI setup popped off. And let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video breaking down the ad creatives that I made that are going to be funneling to this offer. I should actually turn this into a series because I'm basically like starting a new company and documenting like how we're scaling it. You can see right here, we have this folder with like everything we're doing. So if you want anything else in here of like, you know, how I'm building it, just let me know. I'll make a breakdown of it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.